Here comes the pulse point question of the week. Is it the non-veg milk produced in USA which is bone of contention in US FTA or something else? India's dairy choices must be driven by science, not sensationalism. Amid growing misinformation about imported dairy products, especially from the US, it's crucial to separate facts from fear-mongering. Claims that American dairy is uniformly non-veg are both misleading and unfair. India's food regulator FSSAI mandates clear certification regarding the non-use of animal-based feed for milk-producing animals in respect of cultural sensitivities and consumer trust. The US, as a responsible trading partner, complies with these requirements through its own regulations that prohibit the use of certain animal-based feed ingredients in dairy cattle diets under defined conditions. So, American milk and milk-derived products that enter India already meet our religious, ethical, and regulatory standards. Let's also not forget, the US has long been a key dairy partner for India. Since 2022, it has stood as the second largest exporter of whey-based dairy products to India, contributing nearly 1/5 of total whey products imports, particularly in high-demand whey protein-based ingredients critical to nutrition and food processing sectors. To brand all US dairy as a non-veg is not only factually incorrect, it undermines bilateral trade, industry integrity, and consumer choice. In India, where dairy is more than business, it's a cultural and emotional commitment. It is essential that we uphold truth and trust over trending tropes. To tackle antimicrobial resistance AMR, India has introduced strict controls on antibiotic use in the dairy and poultry sectors. The Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, along with Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, has banned the indiscriminate use of colistin and fluoroquinolones, classified by WHO as critically important for human health. The initiative involves farmer awareness programs, veterinarian training, and promotion of alternatives like probiotics and vaccines. A national surveillance system is being established to monitor antibiotic residues in milk and other animal products. These reforms come amid rising global scrutiny over food safety and AMR, particularly after export blocks linked to antibiotic residues in Indian consignments. The policy shift will demand higher investments in veterinary support, infrastructure, and compliance systems. Non-compliance may lead to penalties and export license issues. Global demand for dairy is projected to rise steadily over the next decade, fueled by rising incomes, urbanization, and shifting dietary preferences, particularly in middle-income countries. The latest OECD FAO Agricultural Outlook 2025 to 2034 forecast a 6% increase in global per capita consumption of animal source foods by 2034, with the most significant growth, 24%, expected in lower middle income nations. Dairy, along with meat and fish, will see increasing consumption, especially in Asia. India and Pakistan alone will account for over 50% of global milk production growth, driven by higher yields per animal. Global milk output, composed of 81% cow, 15% buffalo, and 4% other milks, is expected to grow at 1.8% annually, though cow numbers will rise only moderately. Despite this growth, trade will remain limited. Only a small share of milk is traded, mostly as processed dairy. New Zealand, the EU, and the US will retain nearly 70% of global export share. The persistent gap between butter and SMP prices reflects strong global demand for milk fat. However, challenges loom. GHG emissions from dairy, nutrition disparities, animal diseases, and rising interest in plant-based alternatives could shape the sector's future trajectory. The dairy heartland of Aravalli district is boiling over. For the third consecutive day, cattle breeders have escalated their vehement protest against the Sabar Dairy administration, pouring thousands of liters of precious milk onto the roads and bringing the region's milk supply chain to a grinding halt. Let's watch a report here.
खबर गुजरात के साबरकांठा से है, जहां बड़ी संख्या में कई मांगों को लेकर पशुपालकों ने साबर डेयरी के बाहर जमा होकर विरोध प्रदर्शन किया। प्रोटेस्ट के दौरान पुलिस और पशुपालकों के बीच झड़प हो गई। गुस्साई भीड़ ने पुलिस के वाटर कैनन वरुण वाहन के शीशे तक तोड़ दिए। पुलिस की जीप को भी पलटाने की कोशिश की गई, पथराव किया गया और सड़क भी जाम कर दी। हालात बिगड़ता देख पुलिस ने सिचुएशन कंट्रोल करने के लिए आंसू गैस के गोले छोड़े, साथ ही भीड़ को हटाने के लिए लाठीचार्ज भी किया गया।
Surging demand for whey protein, driven by fitness trends, sports nutrition, and GLP-1 drug users, is transforming whey from a cheese byproduct into a premium commodity. Producers are investing in advanced filtration and value-added derivatives like hydrolysates and bioactive peptides. Major exporters, US, EU, New Zealand, are upgrading standards, creating a timely opening for India to integrate whey into dairy cooperatives and private supply chains. However, India must address infrastructure gaps, regulatory clarity, and market-aligned R&D. Globally, players are pivoting from bulk cheese to whey-focused operation. Venture capital is flowing into startups, for example, Perfect Day, while traditional processors expand in-house capabilities. Export policies are being reviewed to help India tap into this high-value protein market. A new study in neurotoxicology reveals that long-term microplastic exposure can impair milk production and quality. Using a rat model, researchers found oxidative stress in brain tissues, altered neurotransmitters, and mammary gland dysfunction, all impacting milk synthesis. Abnormal levels of prolactin and oxytocin were observed, disruptive lactation and maternal bonding. Microplastics were shown to affect both central and peripheral lactation pathways via the hypothalamic pituitary axis. If similar disruptions occur in livestock, it could lower milk yield and affect nutritional quality. These findings align with other studies from Italy where microplastics were detected in dairy products, raising broader food safety concerns.
मेरा गांव गंगा किनारे जहाँ दूध की नदियाँ बहे, जहाँ कोयल कूकू गाए, मेरा घर अंगना ना भूलो ना, मेरा घर अंगना ना भूलो ना। मेरे गांव की मक्खन रोटी लाए, खुशियाँ छोटी छोटी, खुश रहे तेरा बेटा बेटी, जैसे जम